thanks to good old Tom Anderson and InsiderGaming.com, who have been industry insiders for a really long while now and leaking a ton of legit game announcements, it seems we now have our very first gameplay details and story details from the upcoming Far Cry 7 game, which is reportedly already in heavy development as we speak, and including a massive new open world adventure that we haven't seen before, and going into a setting that a lot of people have been asking for, it seems. There's really a lot of details to get into here, so I don't want to waste you guys' time, so let's get into it right away. So, despite the latest game in the series, Far Cry 6 receiving mixed reviews around the board, the series is doing better than ever and solding millions of copies, and this motivates Ubisoft to continue creating brand new adventures in the Far Cry universe and reportedly learning from their mistakes. The Far Cry brand has been renowned for creating stories that are completely different in each game, but almost always including a certain main villain that takes the stage and creates a motivation for the main character to keep going. This new Far Cry game will include villains, but in a different, more unique way that's also never been seen before in Far Cry games. It seems Ubisoft really want to try something new with this sequel. Now, according to InsiderGaming.com, the next game, which they'll refer to as Far Cry 7 and is internally known as Project Blackbird, is scheduled to be released during 2025 and at the latest in fall 2025. The game will be developed by Ubisoft Montreal and will move away from the Dunia engine to Snowdrop, which you can see a peek at first-person gameplay through the upcoming Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and also in third person with The Division, and it looks beautiful. Snowdrop can really do wonders if it's used right and if the developers take their time with it. Insider Gaming continues on and mentions an alleged leak of Far Cry 7 surfaced earlier this year, suggesting the game will be dubbed Far Cry Rise and will take place on a fictitious tropical island called Kimzon, which can be found in the Yellow Sea next to Korea. Insider Gaming was told by its sources that this leak is entirely inaccurate and not true at all, so they won't be diving into more pieces of information from this rumor. Instead, their sources, which have leaked other things in the past, said it's understood that the next entry to the series will be a non-linear story, with the story being centered around rescuing the player's kidnapped family one by one and through different very dangerous missions in a unique location. It was said that the game's plot revolves around a wealthy family that has been kidnapped by a conspiracy group currently called the Sons of Truth, who wants to reveal many different things to the whole world and wake the people up to what is going on. The article continues on to say, while exact finite details are subject to change due to the game's stage of development, it was said that the premise of the campaign is for the player to rescue their entire family within a specific time frame. Currently, the current in-game timer stands at 72 hours or 24 hours in real time, but the timer can be paused when the player enters one of their safe houses, it was said. Listen, I know a lot of people do not like to have timers and things of the sort when playing a game, but I feel it is a really good idea, and it also makes me think of the first Dead Rising game where you had a timer to saving important people as well. If it's used in the right way and if it still let us explore its world, this feature can be great in my opinion. It continues on by saying that Far Cry 7's non-linear story means that family members do not need to be rescued in order, and some family members can be killed as well, which will have a big impact on the story, it is said. While details are still a little murky, it's understood that the goal is to take down the Sons of Truth, and in order to complete the game 100%, you'll need to rescue all of your family members safely. So if you kill one of them, you won't be able to 100% the game, but you'll have different things that will happen in the game because you kill them and other choices to make. To find your family members, it was said that Far Cry 7 introduces a new interrogation mechanic to the game, which doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get the information you need from the enemy. Sometimes the enemy will give up the information, sometimes they'll lie, stay quiet, or even sometimes escape, it was said, which sounds again really cool. Am I the only one that every time I read a leak from a Ubisoft game, it just sounds too good to be true and just a game that will never happen? I'm not kidding, it seems I always read something awesome that I would absolutely love to play, for example with an Assassin's Creed leak, and then turns out it's not really the game that was on paper. This interrogation mechanic and this feature that your family member can be killed, which will change the story, just sounds absolutely awesome, but in my mind it's like I know this won't happen. I've been in a love-hate relationship with Ubisoft for years and they still haven't quite helped the couple. Anyway, I want you all to let me know of what you think of this Far Cry 7 rumor. Do you like the premise, the little gameplay elements that we've been told, and the story? I feel this has a lot of potential if this is real. So make sure you like the video for more gaming news on this game and subscribe to stay tuned.